Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to another awesome episode of Urban Nerd. Today is Thursday, April, and it's episode 15 of 6. Thanks for joining. In today's Nerd News, we're going to talk about Lil Nas X and his country rap, Old Town. We got a full load on today's digital download. We got video games, and we're going to talk a little bit about last episode's question, and then we're going to get into today's topic, which is like, what are the most plagiarized stories from the Bible, especially in comics? So, to nerd out to today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
This ain't no freestyle, bitch. This that he style. Hey, it's your boy Spaceship, man. I got a new podcast out I want y'all to subscribe to, bruh. It's called Urban Nerd Weekly, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music. My back up in the shit. I just like some couple beats. I'm about to hit the stick, so go and follow me on Twitch. Now watch me crank that herb. Now watch me crank that herb. Watch me crank that herb. Now watch me crank that herb. Back up.
Ooh, how you guys doing? How are y'all doing, man? I never really asked you guys that. I mean, I know it's like mostly because I can't like hear the answer and shit, but you know, how are you doing? You know, let me know. You can totally talk to me. I mean, you guys listen to me talk enough as it is, so you know, talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Okay, nerdlings, so for today's nerd news update, it's all about this new rapper named Lil Nas X. He is in no way related to, you know, the legendary rapper Nas, but his name is Lil Nas X, and he just released a song called Old Town Road. Now, Old Town Road is a song, it's a hip-hop song, but it's got a heavy country music influence in it. And one of the things has been like, okay, so like, let me first go off and just like talk about a little bit about this guy and the song. Like, I don't know a whole lot about the rapper Lil Nas X. I know he just kind of popped up on the scene this year. He's been dropping some music. He had a song called Sonic Shit that I thought, you know, had a really cool title and it sounded pretty cool too. But this Old Town Road song is like a country rap tune. You know, he's kind of like purposely over accentuating the southern accent. Like, he is from Atlanta. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. And, you know, like a lot of rappers, like even the ones that aren't from here. So honestly, when I'm reading up on the background of this story of this song, it turns out the dude, like, he was like trying to drop out of college. So he dropped this song in the hopes that it would be the thing that saved him from having to go back to school. And wouldn't you fucking know, I think he's got one, Houston, so he might not have to go back to fucking school, guys. Which, you know, I'm sure all my nerds are like, oh, why wouldn't you want to go to school? But I totally get it. Like, school isn't for all nerds. Like, there are certain nerds that are for school, and there are certain nerds that are against school. And I totally fucking get where you're coming from, Lil Nas X. I fuck with you on that shit. But turns out he caught one. Not only did the song, like, cause I remember when the song popped up on my SoundCloud and it was like, hey, you should check out this song. And of course I didn't click on this shit cause I'm too busy doing like spaceship shit and Urban Nerd Weekly shit. I don't have time to listen to everybody else's shit and watch everybody else's shit all the time. So, you know, I really didn't, you know, give it a whole bunch of energy. But then, like, I think I heard it one day on the radio, like terrestrial radio, like the fucking shit in your car, right? It was on, like, I'm in Atlanta, and I think it was on either a Hot 107.9 or 96.7, like Streets 945 or 96.7 The Beat, or one of those stations played it, and it came on, because I remember now, okay, now I remember, I did play the song, I did play it one time. And it sounded really cool, but it was one of them things where I played the song like right before I had to go somewhere, so I didn't have time to fully enjoy it, but I did remember liking it. And then when it came on the radio, I instantly remembered where I heard it at, so I let the whole song play through. And a matter of fact, I think it might have been V103, because I think it was like on some Greg Street shit. And if you are from Atlanta and you listen to Greg Street, you'll know he will play the same fucking song like 8 times in a row to drive the fucking point home. One of them things where I think he played it twice, and I was like, this song go hard. And then one day I was in the car with my buddy, and then I put him onto the song, and I'm like, yo, this song is actually fire. And then I remember hearing in the background they were talking about how it was a #1 song. I was like, okay, you know, the way the streaming works and shit nowadays. I mean, if you say, hey, that's a fire song at like 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, there's a pretty good chance that by Wednesday afternoon you got a number one hit Billboard record. And I think that's what happened. But I didn't realize there was a little bit of controversy behind the song in that it was charting as in multiple genres. Like it was charting it started actually charting in a country genre. So it was on the country billboards as number one. And the country music community did not seem to... It was either the country music community that didn't like it, or maybe it was just Billboard that didn't like it. I think it was Billboard that spoke about like taking it out of the charts because it didn't quote unquote fit into the genre. So, I mean, first of all, that's just weird. It's weird. It's a country song-ish. It's country enough to be on the country charts. If Hannah Montana can fucking be on the country charts and the hip-hop charts, and if fucking Taylor Swift can be on the country charts and the pop charts at the same time, I think it's totally fair that this guy gets to be on the country charts and the rap charts at the same time. You know, it's kind of sparking a whole debate about the whole, you know, relationship between country music and rap music, which I'm gonna dedicate a whole episode of Urban Nerd Weekly to. You know what I'm saying? I love to dive into the little nomenclatures and, you know, little bullshit, little struggles is going on in between, like, the, you know, as from a music fan perspective and shit. And one of those things is the complicated relationship between, you know, country music and hip hop. And, you know, let's be honest here, the basis of that conflict is race. It's racist shit. It's just, you know, even though, you know, black people, we started that shit, you know, country music, just like the Republican Party, is just one of those things that white people kind of just took over and made it theirs. And then years down the line, not even black people want to fuck with that shit anymore. Like, most black people my age don't even fucking know we started that shit to begin with. So, you know, that or the Republican Party. But that's, like I said, that's a whole upcoming Urban Nerd Weekly episode in and of its own. But what is interesting is, the most interesting thing is, my favorite thing is, because it's funny that I mentioned Hannah Montana a second ago, because we can all tell that, you know, I think we can consider the Cyrus family pretty fucking cool at this point, with as far as, you know, niggas is concerned. Cause as soon as this backlash happened for Lil Nas X's song, well, Billy Ray Cyrus heard about this shit and he was like, oh, so y'all not gonna let this guy get his spot on these charts just because, like, he knows it's bullshit. He's fully aware that this is just racially motivated bullshit. So he hops on the remix of this song, which forces them motherfuckers to put that shit back on the country charts. Because if you is gonna deny fucking achy breaky heart nigga what the fuck he want on these country charts, especially with his daughter out here motherfuckers still making this money and shit for y'all niggas, y'all gonna have to do what the fuck they want. So Billy Ray Cyrus hopped on the remix, and them fuck niggas put that shit back on the country music charts. And that shit been number one like multiple times this week. It's really like, it's still number one, I think, on the country charts, but it's actually been number one in the country, like on and off with the Bruno Mars and Cardi B song, you know, that Please Me shit, which is a hard ass song as well. But I think it's just awesome, you know, that Billy Ray Cyrus was like, you know what, fuck that shit. They gonna put that shit back on the charts. And he got on there and he spit a verse on that bitch. And it was actually kind of hard, bro. So, next thing you know, I'm just riding down the street listening to motherfucking Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. And I never thought that I would ever say that sentence, but that is what's happening. So, be on the lookout for that special episode of Urban Nerd Weekly where we talk about the relationship between country music and rap music. And, you know, its underlying issues being racially motivated, all that good shit. But for now, we're gonna keep the show. Today's digital download, which includes the video games Cuphead, which comes out today on Nintendo Switch, Our World Is Ended, which comes out tomorrow on April the 19th on PlayStation 4. The movies coming out, we got 3 movies coming out tomorrow: The Curse of La Llorona, Drunk Parents, and Rafiki. The Curse of La Llorona sounds, I don't know why, but it sounds really scary. It seems like, I don't know why it sounds messed up, but it seems scarier when, like, something evil speaks a different language than I do. It strikes a whole nother chord of fear. Like, Llorona, I know she's from somewhere that I'm not, and she's gonna probably eat my soul if I fuck with her too bad. 2, Drunk Parents just sounds like a fucking hilarious title. It also sounds like a movie that should end with a DFAX appearance, but who knows. And Rafiki, was that the baboon from Lion King? Wasn't that his name was Rafiki? I'm gonna look that shit up later. We're gonna come back to that. Anyway, those are the movies all coming out tomorrow. In the music land, Tech Nine just released an album. I mean, not just released, it's coming out tomorrow. Matter of fact, all three of these are coming out tomorrow, much like the movies we just mentioned. But his album called is N9NA. So I don't know if it's Nana or Nina. I think it's Nina because the 9 in his name is an I replacement. So we're gonna go with Tech Nine. Got an album called Nina coming out tomorrow. We got Sporty that has Nolan the Ninja with their album called Sporty. And someone named Lizzo dropping an album called Cause I Love You. Now, I'd just like to take this second out to remind you guys to please follow me on social media. The big three, if you don't mind. Or, of course, anything else if that's what you're on. But everybody mostly has the big three, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please feel free to hit me up at SPAYCEWUZHERE. That space was here. And if you like to, you can go on and add a .com to that and go ahead and log in there. Join the mailing list and you'll just get the straight up update on everything. You know, that's whether or not you want to follow me on social media. The website is just an awesome place to get everything spaceship and as well as Urban Nerd Weekly related. So be sure to do that. Now, on until last episode's question of the day, which is, what is the most insane tax refund purchase or school refund purchase that you have ever... Now, I got plenty of good responses on this particular topic. I mean, that's the average windfall that that's like the average person. That's about a windfall for them. You know what I'm saying? The income tax return or that student loan return or whatever is usually like, what, $3 to $5 grand some people get back. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just go crazy with that shit like they hit the lottery. Like, you know, I'm sure you've, like, definitely and maybe you have had a friend that's definitely, like, got theirs and, like, bought a bunch of shoes or clothes. Or I know some people that buy, like, big-ass TVs or some people, like, spend their income tax money on, like, the new gaming system that just came out because they wouldn't have otherwise, like, been able to afford it, which I totally get. I totally do get. I don't think it's a wise purchase. However, that is the exact same unwise purchase that I would make if I was to come into such a small fortune, yet so well timed. I probably would do the same thing. But, you know, some people, you know, try to do crazy shit with it. Like, you know, because some people, you know, they get the, you know, they find their little wiggle room in the system and get a little bit more money back on their income tax returns. And, you know, they do shit like try to get them a house, or some people get a new, you know, take that to get a new car. One of the craziest fucking things I just saw, though, was, somebody took their entire tax return and took it to Vegas. And after I saw this response, I actually came to find out it's actually a little bit more common than I thought, which once you stop and think about it, isn't all that surprising. But what they did was they took their entire income tax return, went to Vegas, and, you know, some people just gambled with it, you know, in general. But there's a couple of folks, like I got one response where somebody was like, oh, they took it to Vegas and they bet the whole check, which they claim to be like more than $5,500, all on like black. I guess that's at like the roulette table or some shit, that whatever that thing is where they spin the shit and that ball's in there and then it's either gonna land on like a red or a black square or some shit like that. Yeah, that shit. Bet it all on one of them motherfuckers. Didn't say if they fucking won, though. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of looking for a conclusion to the story, and they were just like, yeah, they just went to Vegas and bet it all on black. Like, bitch, finish the tale. I'm interested now. Like, don't just draw me in. Give me a conclusion, motherfucker. You're just jacking my penis and won't let me ejaculate. It's crazy. Alright, so that last line was a little bit much. But yeah, on to today's topic, which was inspired by the fact that tomorrow is Good Friday. So I was just sitting here thinking like, okay, so what could I, or rather say, you know, that would be Urban Nerd Weekly incorporate, you know, to celebrate Good Friday. So what I did was I was scrolling online like a couple of years ago, and I ran across some shit while I was watching the episode of Supernatural. But I was watching like an episode of Supernatural. It was like one of the episodes where like one of the characters was like a Greek mythic, like someone from Greek mythology and shit. And then I started thinking about like the fact that there are some like superheroes with those same powers and shit. And then I started wondering, like, I wonder how often like, you know, like comic books, superheroes and shit like that have kind of like lifted from the Bible. And then I did a little bit more Googling, because I'm not going to fucking lie to y'all and say the word research like I went to an accredited institution to find these facts. But I did a lot of fucking Googling and shit, and then I started making my own connections and started realizing there is like a startling amount of like parallels and similarities to like comic book storylines, comic book characters, their abilities and such. Even, you know, did I say storylines? Even their storylines kind of analogous, like, or similar or parallel or whatever you want to call it, from stuff that was like in the Bible. Like, okay, off rip. First one. When you really stop and think about like Superman, let's think about his entire origin, all right? Superman comes from the planet Krypton that was about to be destroyed or explode, so his parents sent him to Earth so he could survive, and in exchange, he expected his son, to protect the people of Earth from whatever threats may come their way. Now let's stop and think about the fact that, okay, before Superman got there, was any of this shit going on? I mean, am I not high enough to, like when I say high, am I not like high up enough in like the nerd realm to like know the fuck was going on before Superman got here? You know what I mean? Like, all right, so we're gonna scoot past that part. Anyway, here's the thing. He was sent to Earth to protect us, and you know, he was gonna be able to live here. You know, we all, you know, all the nerds know that when Superman got here, because he's from the planet Krypton, you know, their gravity's different, their sun is different. So when he got to the Earth's yellow sun, it made him superpowered, gave him the superhuman strength and abilities that no other human had. That's why they call them superhuman abilities, like they were human abilities. Unlike most alien species we assume exist, he is more humanoid like the Kryptonians, and apparently the people, the Saiyans from planet Vegeta are very, very earthly human-like. How convenient. But here, things are different than they are from their own planet. And a matter of fact, we could go ahead and just throw Goku in on this shit too, because Goku and Superman have such similar like shit in their storylines. We could go ahead and parallel it to the guy we're going to parallel it to in a minute when I get down to when I explain to y'all like exactly how parallel this shit is. Like, okay. You know, I should probably not curse. I'm gonna not curse for the rest of the episode, even though the episode, you know, we're at the tail end of things. I'm gonna not curse for the rest of the episode because we're talking about Good Friday and the Bible. And, you know, I love God. I don't want him mad at me because I'm not using appropriate language when I'm kind of quasi-celebrate something that's like for him and stuff like that. But there are a lot of parallels in their story, as well as the story of Jesus Christ. He was sent here by the Father, or in the story of the Saiyans, he was just sent here by his father. In the story of Superman, he was sent here by mother and father, here to protect Earth, you know, save us. Much like Jesus Christ was sent down from his Father to save us. Then he grew up here amongst us and developed they grew up here amongst us and developed a compassion for us. So even at a point where their own people, you know, came and said, "Hey, we're just gonna wipe the slate clean on this place." Like, people from Krypton came and tried to destroy Earth. Superman saved Earth from them. Saiyans came to Earth from wherever they were. Matter of fact, wherever the Kryptonians and Saiyans were that were still alive, wherever they came from, they came to Earth to destroy it. And somehow, someone from both of those planets just happened to already be here to save it. Much like the devil, or Satan, or Lucifer, the morning star, or whatever you'd like to call him, who, by the way, is an actual DC character. Like, Jesus is also a DC character, but he's not directly named. However, Lucifer the Morningstar is, however, that's not his actual name, so we don't know his name, so that's what they just called him in those episodes. However, you know, with Satan being from the same place as Jesus was from, he came down to, you know, destroy the people of Earth. And, you know, even at a point, I think God was infuriated because, you know, we as humans, we killed Jesus and stuff. Like, nobody's like taking credit for the fact that we are human and that's what we did to Jesus. Like, and he still wanted to save us and junk like that. So anyway, yeah, like, and that's kind of what was going on with those two as well. Like, not only did they have to fight tooth and nail to save us, but in the grand scheme of things, the whole of humanity did not appreciate or does not appreciate anything that they've done for them. I mean, there are so many different parallels in the comic book world to the Bible. Like, even Vandal Savage kind of reminds me of Cain from the Bible a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like what if he just killed Abel and just kept living in junk and then turned into Vandal Savage later on because he never died. He never, you know what I'm saying? Crazy shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So many fucking parallels, man. But, oh man, I still curse. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I got the explicit on my, on my SoundCloud and my iTunes and all the good stuff, And just as a reminder, please, guys, subscribe to, the show wherever you listen to podcasts or whatever, whether it be Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. I'm coming to Spotify and I'm coming to iHeartRadio really soon. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for tuning in, you guys. We're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 in this episode because this topic is just ripe for the picking. There is so many. I think the next, like holiday, church holiday type thing, I'm gonna do the part 2 of this. But for now, I'm saying, I'm gonna hit you guys with the question of the day real quick. And this is the last episode before a certain holiday is coming up, and I'm not gonna mention it so you guys can be super amped for the next episode, because y'all know I celebrate. But we're gonna save it for next episode. So until next time, you guys, the question of the day is all about the movie Friday. And if you have seen the entire franchise, let your boy know which one is the best movie in the franchise. Now, if you did not grow up watching these movies, you have until the very next episode of Urban Nerd Weekly, that is April the 23rd, to look up every single episode of this movie. I think some of them are Netflix or Hulu or what. I mean, movies is there fucking where nowadays. Y'all can just, you could probably fucking draw a square on your living room wall and you could probably get a TV show that way these days. It's that easy. But what, in your opinion, is the best movie in the Friday movie series? Is it the first Friday? Is it like Friday, next Friday, or Friday after next? In your opinion. My name is Space Was Here. See, because I was here, but now I'm